What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Fantasy Puck video. Today's video is going to be on the must drop players after the first quarter of the season. So we are about a little over 20 games into the season for most teams, and there are quite a few players that I am looking to drop in 10-team leagues all the way up to 14-team leagues. Before we get in this video, jump in the comment section below and let me know, with McDavid on a absolute tear right now, if he'll end with over or under 125 points this season, obviously assuming he stays healthy for majority of the year, and tell me why. I think personally he'll probably end up with the over. He's been so good, him and Draisaitl, but let me know in the comment section below what your opinion is on that. Make sure you jump in our Discord, guys. The link will be in the description below. If you have any trouble joining, we have hundreds and hundreds of awesome hockey fans in there asking questions daily, all available in our description. Let's go for 150 likes in this video, guys. You have been crushing it with the content. We just reached 5,500 subscribers, and I thank you so much for the continuous support. And my sport bettors looking to win some money by playing fantasy hockey, head over to Prize Picks, use code PUCK, and receive a $100 deposit up to a 100% match. Without further ado, let's jump into the must-drop players after the first quarter. Bear with me a little bit here, guys. I am a little bit sick, so if my voice does sound a little bit nasally, that is why. But the first player to drop in 10 to 12 team leagues is Brock Boeser of the Vancouver Canucks. I drafted him. I'm not happy with him. And there was some news on Saturday night that he was supposed to be a healthy scratch. It was called Tough Love from Bruce Boudreau. I did see that Boeser started and he scored and he had 4 shots, but his minutes are going down quite a bit. He is off the power play 1. He's playing a middle 6 role right now. Nothing you want to see for those who drafted Boeser, who is a high volume shooter who likes to score goals on the power play. His minutes are down 13 minutes average time on ice over the last 5 games with just 6 shots prior to Saturday's game. And he is at 7.8 shots per 60 this season, a career low for him. Not really scoring very much at 0.6 goals per game, a career low. And his on-ice metrics are very poor this year, 53.5% Corsi for percentage. Someone that does get quite a lot of power play time. Although he is on power play 2 now, he did spend some time on the top power play unit. This is a career low number for Boeser, who usually sits over 58%. Now, his minutes this season in general, 15 minutes and 49 seconds, -3 from 2021. As they continue to trend down, we're going to see less and less average time on ice. Boeser is at career lows right now. I don't know if he's still dealing with injury, but his -14 rating this season is the 4th worst in the NHL, which is a stat I don't like for fantasy. But if you're in leagues with plus minus, he is definitely hurting you in that category. So in 10 to 12 team leagues, I am looking to drop Brock Boeser. There are a considerable amount of options to add over him to benefit your fantasy team in the long term. Moving on now to the next player I'm looking to drop in 10 to 12 team leagues is Owen Power of the Buffalo Sabres. At 57% ownership, his numbers really surprised me. But his ownership didn't really surprise me because he is a former first overall pick, and typically these players hold name value, and you don't want to drop them just because of the upside they may possess. But looking at his rank amongst defensemen, 30 shots on goal, ranks 86th, 0 goals. There are 150 defensemen currently in the league with a goal, 12 penalty minutes, 87th ranked in the league, just 11 hits, 207th ranked in the league, 29 blocks, 113th ranked in the league, and 10 assists, 33 ranked in the league amongst defensemen. This is not including forwards. None of these stats are eye-popping. You would think for a big defenseman playing over 23 minutes per night, similar to what we saw in Moritz Seider last season, he'd be a bit more of a bruiser, some more blocks, getting more opportunities, getting pucks to the net, but that has just not been the case this season. And for owners of Owen Power, I feel like you just own him right now because of the name value. He's not playing on power play 1. He is playing good minutes, but there's just not enough there for me to justify owning Owen Power right now. Moving on to the next must-drop player, someone I mentioned as a buy low candidate. I honestly thought he was going to turn it around, but I feel like this Vancouver Canucks team and their players just continue to disappoint year after year. Their forwards this year have been really good, but with Pettersson last year, completely disappointing. Demko this year, disappointing. I just feel like they have very high conviction on some of these players, and then they just completely bust. But I love Demko. It's hard for me to say this because I do own him in 2 of my 12-team leagues right now. He has to be a drop at this point. He's not making enough saves. He is a goalie that typically is top 3 in saves with someone like Connor Hellebuck and Gibson. and he currently ranks 17th amongst goalies. And amongst qualified goalies, he currently has the worst save percentage at 883. You can't own a goalie that has a sub 900 save percentage. Just a 795 high danger chances save percentage, the 5th worst in the league. And I do see a little typo with an extra bracket there, but he is at a negative 10.5 goals saved above expected. Now, he is injured as of me making this video on Sunday, the 4th. Spencer Martin did start last night. He has a 7-2-1 record. I do think long-term Demko will still get starts if he does not go on the IR, but there's just better goalie options right now with Peter Kochetkov. Spencer Knight has been very good. I think if you're looking at doing a one-team goalie strategy when dropping Demko, that's very viable. But right now, he's not worth owning in 10-team leagues. 12-team leagues, I do think you can hold him and potentially stash him on your IR. But he has just been very, very poor this season. I hate to say this, but I'm looking to drop Demko in 10 to 12-team leagues. Moving on now to a 10 to 14 team league drop, Jaccob Slavin of the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think he will be owned in 10 team leagues, but if you do own him in 12 to 14 team leagues, he is definitely worth a drop right now. And the reason being, he is just not doing enough to justify owning him. 24 games played, 6 points, 48 shots, 33 blocks, and just 16 hits. He has not been good peripheral-wise. He has not been good putting up points. He did have a strong season with 42 points last season, which did raise his value quite a bit. But if you are in plus-minus leagues, Carolina has been struggling a little bit, and I do think you could own Slavin because he is a very, very good on-ice defensive defenseman. But for fantasy-wise, he just is not very good. Now, with Brett Burns coming in, he is taking some minutes away from him. He is playing just one less minute from last season at 2240. His percentile rankings amongst defensemen this season, 17th percentile in goals, 34th percentile in assists, and 29th percentile in hits. He's just not doing it peripheral-wise. He's just not doing it offensively for me. His blocks are down this season, 1.3 blocks per game, which is minus 0.3 from 2021, and 0.21 assists per game this season, minus 0.21 from 2021. So he has just not been very good. Jaccob Slavin, a very good on-ice real-life defenseman, but not the best fantasy defenseman. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this Carolina team has been struggling a little bit. Slavin should be dropped in 12-plus team leagues. Moving on now to the deeper league drop candidates. Victor Olofsson of the Buffalo Sabres, just 16% owned over on Yahoo. 24 games played this season, 11 goals, which is impressive, 2 assists, a -6 rating, and 59 shots on goal. His 13 points in 24 games just is not enough to justify owning him in a points-only league, but his 59 shots are respectable. Other than that, he's really not doing anything. He has just 6 hits this season. You didn't draft him for the hits, but he just is not adding up in those peripheral categories that you want from players that have not been producing offensively this year. 14 minutes and 35 seconds average time on ice, career low for Olofsson, -1 minute from 2021, -3 minutes from his career average. His shooting percentage is up this season, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Plus 5% from his career average, so his goals scoring this season has been a little bit more on the lucky side, and we can expect this to regress at some point. Now, his minutes are way down. In his last 5 games, he has 2 games where he's played under 10 minutes. This is 4th-line minute roles, like Ryan Lomberg's season. He has played 10 minutes and 57 seconds average time on ice in the last 5 games. You just can't justify owning a player that has played under 11 minutes right now. He had a very good October with 6 goals and 7 points in just 9 games, but since then he's been atrocious. Victor Olofsson is a drop candidate in almost every league. Moving on now to the final drop candidate in deeper leagues, Oliver Bjorkstrand of the Seattle Kraken, one of my favorite players a couple of years ago. He has been struggling this season, and this Seattle Kraken team has been very good offensively. 24 games played, just 3 goals, 12 points, 62 shots, and only 15 hits. But look at the trend down in minutes. October, 17 minutes, 38 seconds. He was shooting 3.9 shots per game in October. He was on fire. Since then, 14 minutes and 7 seconds throughout November. And in the early parts of December, just 2 games played, he's played 13 minutes and 30 seconds. 3.9 shots per game in October. 1.75 shots per game in November. Those are very, very poor stats. He is trending down very fast. And that is, you can see with his ownership percentage right now, I think he was up over 40% at one point in the season. He's now down at 12%. He is a drop candidate. He has moved down to the third line with Yanni Gord and Brandon Tanev, the other Tanev. I think they're brothers. They look the same. They're definitely brothers. Let me know in the comment section below if they're brothers. They're more of a checking line role, and Bjorkstrand is a offensive player, and he does not fit in well in a checking line role. He has been moved up the top power play unit. He is now on power play 2. I just need to see a little bit more from Bjorkstrand, a little bit more deployment for me to own him. But right now, he is definitely a drop candidate. There are much better options available on your free agency. That'll do it for our must drop players video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.